For now, my rate range around 10 to 15 US dollars per hour. How I actually ended up as an online Mandarin tutor, and my university major has nothing to do with language. Hi guys, welcome to my Adulting Journey series episode number 2. So in this episode, I'm going to talk about money. As you can see in the thumbnail and the titles, I will be sharing how I got my part-time jobs as a university student in Malaysia. So let's get into it. Now I ended up as an online Mandarin tutor, and if you want to know how I ended up with this job, keep watching this video and I'll let you know. For now, my rate range around 10 to 15 US dollars per hour. So I do one-on-one tutoring session. Depends on the package they choose. I have a package of 15 US dollars per session, and I also have 10 US dollar per session. And you can definitely charge much more than this if you have experience and your expertise is in the subject that you are tutoring. So not only language tutoring, you can make it online. Depends on the subject that you are good at. You can try to find clients online and start tutoring and earn some money. Here are some background history of me finding a part-time jobs and trying to earn some pocket monies. So right after SPM, I worked as a hamper promoter for Chinese New Year for a month. And later that, I also worked as sampling promoter in the supermarkets. I was selling rice, I was selling soda drinks, yogurts, and any kind of goods. But later, I went to university and I don't want to work constantly every weekends because I want to enjoy my uni life, enjoy like as much as activities during my first year. So I started to look it up online and try different ways to how to earn money on a more flexible schedule and a more flexible basis. Story time. So how I actually ended up as an online Mandarin tutor, and my university major has nothing to do with language. So I remember that was in my second semester of my first year. So I found this website called Fiverr, but I don't really have any design skills. I don't really good at any art, so I don't really know what I can do on that website. Then I created some gigs, which is data entry, transcription, and translation, which I help people translate English documents to Mandarin. And my gig wasn't really look professional, and as you can tell, I didn't get any client at all. I wasn't really interested in doing data entry and translation job. That's why I didn't pay an effort to make my gigs look attractive. And after 2 weeks, I created those gigs on Fiverr. I just randomly went on Fiverr and see what they are doing and like see if anybody is buying their gigs. So I saw a few people doing Mandarin tutoring and they have received quite a good response from the clients. So I was wondering and I went through their profile. They weren't major in language, they are like studying something else, but they can converse well in Mandarin and also English, and they are like a native Mandarin speaker. So I was thinking that I can actually do this job. I like Mandarin. Actually, I love Chinese language. It was my favorite subject back then in school, but I don't know why I ended up studying engineering instead of Chinese language. Then I was thinking, this could be quite fun if I can tutor people in Mandarin. So I created this gig and my rate was in 5 US dollar per 30 minutes, and 1 hour I offer 10 US dollar for 75 minutes. So this is my starting rate. And I think this is quite fun. So actually I paid an effort to make my gigs look much more attractive. If you're interested to know how to make your Fiverr gigs looks attractive, just comment down below and maybe I can give some advice on this. Although I'm not like the top seller in Fiverr yet. So I still remember my first client was a man from Peru and he was working in New York. He was already taking some Mandarin course, so what I did was just trying to help him to do his homework, to help him to prepare for his oral exam. So it was actually very fun. But because I was starting doing this and because of the time zone difference in the US and in Malaysia, I remember I woke up every morning at maybe 5 or 6 a.m. and I was living in college at that time. I had like 2 more roommates, so I will carry my laptop and I went downstairs and I just find a very shady corner and yeah, open my webcam there and tutoring him. I found out that there's a huge market of like learning Chinese language in the US or also UK. So when I first started doing this job, I needed to wake up very early in the morning or stay up late night to accommodate their schedule, and also because of the time zone difference. Actually, I think I'm quite lucky because I started this right before the pandemic. When I created that gigs, the demands of online language learning is not that huge yet. So when the pandemic struck, it just created a huge demand to move language learning online. So I started getting more and more clients. I worked really hard to balance between online learning and these part-time jobs. I started in, I think, January 2020, so it has been 1.5 years I'm doing this. So yeah, it's quite fun. So what is the pros and cons, the advantage and disadvantage of working as an online language tutor? So let's talk about the advantages first. Number one, of course, is fully remote and you can have a flexible schedule. Of course, if you are doing language tutoring, you will expect that the language that you are tutoring in and the student you have is from a different country, so you need to consider a different time zone. So you might need to accommodate more, in the beginning when you are trying to find a client. But it's really flexible and you can arrange your schedule as you wish. Number two, it really helped me in improving my English conversation skills. As you can tell, I still make a lot of grammar mistakes, but I wasn't really able to communicate in English properly. Before I started this job, I tutor them in Mandarin, but I still need to explain things in English, especially for beginners. Sometimes we will also have a chit-chat session in English. To be honest, when I first started out, I wasn't really understand what my student is talking about during the chit-chat sessions because I have students from the US, UK with a US accent, UK accent, the British accent, which is really difficult to understand. Yeah, I remember the first time I had a student with a British accent, a really strong British accent. I can tell that most of the time I didn't know what he was talking about. But when we discussed about the subject, we discussed in Mandarin, so it was still okay. The third advantage of being a language tutor, this job has given me an opportunity to meet people from different countries. So this is something good about the technology and also the internet. So I've been able to talk to people from different countries, like the majority of my students from UK and also US. I also have some students from Canada and also Singapore. I also have had a student from Malaysia. He was from Brunei, but he's living in Malaysia anyway. Then it's just really fun. I even had meet people from Israel and also South Africa. It's really fun to meet them and get to talk to them, and we also talk about the culture in their countries. Like I would tell them like what are we doing in Malaysia and how are they doing in their country. I really like to make new friends and talk to people from different walks of life and see what they are doing with their life. Number 4, as I said earlier, it will help you to improve your communication skills, presentation skills, and boost your confidence. So for the communication skills, like me, I'm a freelance tutor, so I need to reply a bunch of texts for people asking things about my package, and also communicate with my students, communicate with my students' parents. So it really trained my communication skills. When you first started out, of course you will feel lack of confidence to tutor people, to teach people, because like me, what I was feeling is I wasn't a professional Mandarin teacher, and my major in university has nothing to do with Mandarin, but I'm a native Mandarin speaker. So yeah, I in the beginning I would just kind of freak out to explain things to my students. So this job sounds really fun and not too difficult to achieve, right? But what are the disadvantages of this job? So number 1, if you are looking into tutoring people in language, and you are taking students from different countries. So what you need to deal with is the time zone difference. So you might need to compromise to fit in their schedule. And number two, if you are doing one-on-one session that I'm doing it right now, I do one session is 1 hour and one-on-one, and they're all from different countries, so it's just such a hassle to schedule everything. Number three, if you are looking into becoming a language tutor, but language is not your expertise, you need to be ready that you need to spend a lot of time in the beginning to learn, to study, to how to teach a language to a non-native speaker. Everyone knows how to speak, to communicate properly with their own native language, but when a foreign speaker trying to learn that language is a bit different. So when I first started out, I read a lot of articles online, I watched videos, I went to the websites about teaching Chinese as a second language, because I found that there are a lot of things that we didn't learn in school about our native language when we are teaching the foreign speaker. Especially for adults, there is a different way to explain the grammars. So if you are looking into tutoring language, this is something you need to take note at, on how to deliver the message, how to explain some grammar rules, and also how to teach about the pronunciation to a non-native speaker. This is very important, especially for adult learners. Number four, if you are looking into freelance tutoring, you need to be careful with your rates. You don't want to be overpriced when you first started out, and you don't want to be underpriced and overwork yourself. You need to research in that industry at that specific subject that you like to tutoring. What are the starting rates, and like what are the rates that you can look into. So you also need to take note on the service fees that you will be charged on the platform, and also the payment medium. The one I'm using is Fiverr, but for language tutoring there are many amazing websites out there, but I don't have time to try it out yet, like Amazing Talker, like italki. For Fiverr, for everything that you have earned, they take a cut of 20%. It's quite huge, so you need to consider this as well. You definitely need to do research properly on this part, because we trade our time and effort, and in return we need to get paid. So you need to really take note on this part. And the last one, if you are doing this 1 hour one-on-one tutoring session, the problem that you will face is sometimes your students didn't show up without any prior notice. It's quite frustrating because, like I reserved the slot for him or her, but he just didn't show up. So you need to be a little bit strict about this. Like, you need to let them know if they are about to cancel the class, how long prior notice should they give. Maybe 24 hours, maybe 12 hours, instead of just ditch you without any notice, which is not very good. If you are still watching this video, I'm sure that you might be interested in doing language tutoring online. So here are some tips that I could give. The first one is be strict on your rules, which is about the scheduling and also the prior notice to give before cancelling the class. And the second one is you need to know how to say no to unreasonable requests. For me, I'm a Mandarin tutor, so that my job is to teach, to guide, to help people in learning that language. I have had students from Philippines, so one of the weird requests from his parents is his parents wanted me to translate the whole textbook and workbook for him. I just say no, I couldn't do this, but if you want, I can get you the pinyin of the text of that chapter and also the meaning of only the text. They requested me to translate, but I didn't do it because I don't think it's the right way to learn. But I will make sure that we discuss this in the class. His son know what the textbook is trying to deliver, instead of just give him the translation. Number 3, be smart on the service fees charged by the platform. So all of my students are from Fiverr, but after we have been doing it for maybe 2 to 3 months, when we get comfortable, we just do it privately. We communicate through WhatsApp and also do the payment through PayPal. But you need to take note on this when people from the platform comes to you and say, oh, can we do it like without Fiverr or the platform? You need to take note on this because you need to know the risk of doing it without a platform as a secure. The platform take a cut for a reason, so you need to take note on this. try not to take gigs privately with the first-time customer. At least you need to do maybe 2 projects with 1 to 2 projects with him or her through Fiverr first. So this is my advice. Don't easily trust people who you met on internet. And next, if you want to become a tutor, not only that you need to be good at that subject, you don't need to be the top scorer to tutor that subject, but you need to make sure you pay an effort to learn to how to deliver the knowledge. So this you can do it via reading, try to watch some videos online on how they teach that subject. Yeah, so just pay an effort to make you worth the money that you are earning and try to deliver some values to your students. Other than paying an effort to make sure that you are teaching the right thing, you also need to pay an effort if you are trying to find customers online. You need to pay an effort to make yourself look attractive, looks professional, looks friendly, so that they want to learn from you. The last tip and advice, this goes to all kind of side hustles for university students. So why do we need a part-time job as a student? Of course, we want to cover our tuition fees, our living expenses. We don't want to ask money from our family anymore. We don't want to burden them anymore. Yeah, we are desperate. There are people using this as an advantage and try to trick university students to participate in some illegal jobs, and also they try to scam you. And yes, you need to be really aware of this. You can also see that there are tons of advertisements online to teach you how to join their course and learn how to trade stocks, how to invest, how to maybe join multi-level marketing. Don't get me wrong, these are extremely good for university students to learn how to do sales, to learn about investment, to learn about trading, of course, if you are interested. I also recently started to learn about investing. But all of this, if you do it properly, you won't get filthy rich like maybe in a month. If you see the advertisement that they say they can help you to get rich without learning anything, like you just copy my formula and you will become rich and become like me, have a Ferrari, it just sounds too good to be true, and it just isn't true. So don't believe in this kind of advertisement. So always remember, how do we earn money properly? Either you trade your time or you trade your knowledge. So for us, we are still students. Maybe we don't have so much knowledge to trade for money. So what we can do is trade our time. Yeah, and if you have certain skills in arts, in designing, yeah, you can just try to learn more about this during your free time and try to figure out how to make it into a way of making money. Well, I think that's all I'd like to share in this video. I hope it's an informative video that could help you and inspire you to try to figure out how to earn money while going to the university. If you are interested to become a language tutor or a tutor in any subject, just go ahead and do it. If you have any idea on how to building up your side hustles, just go ahead and explore it. And when you are on the right path, just keep going. It might be a little bit challenging in the beginning, but just keep going. If there's a will, there's a way. See you in the next episode. Bye!